Hi everyone, welcome back to Aidans Railways. So another look at another locomotive, another model. This is also something, these days when I'm buying things, it tends to be less spur of the moment now, and they tend to be specific items that I really want or have been after for a very long time. And there'll still be other spur of the moment things, but these days the focus is on my railway and on Aidans Railways and Katie's railway. So it's this is very specific. This is like my previous video, is an item that I have been after for a very long time. I remember when they were released with Model Zone. I remember when it was released. I remember seeing it in Model Zone. I remember looking at it and wanting one at the time. But if I remember rightly, at the time I was well, I didn't have the finances back then to do that. So it was one of them things you looked but you couldn't touch. Anyway, over the years I've seen ones on occasion, but it's always been at the wrong time. It's never been at the right time. And I don't know if you experience that as well. Sometimes there's something that you are really after, but when you see one, you just can't get it, and you have to bite the bullet every time. You just have to sort of bite your tongue, bite your lip, and walk away. I had seen one quite recently on an online store. It was Olivia's Trains, but it wasn't. I wouldn't expect it to be cheap, but it was far more money than I was still. Even though I wanted it, it was more money than I was willing to pay for it. And I think it had been modified. It had DCC gubbins, like sound and things like that. And I really wasn't willing to pay that money for it. So I waited and waited, and eventually that one went. And I woke up one morning, still in bed, and I have certain things I search for on the internet, and the emails were there to tell me what new items have appeared under those searching items. And one of them was the model I was after, and it had a buy it now price. It didn't just have it wasn't just for auction. It actually had a buy it now price, and it was at a very good price. And I didn't hesitate. I didn't even look at the bank balance, which was a bit dangerous, but I just sort of went bump. And then I hoped and prayed that it would turn up and it would be exactly as it said in the description. And thankfully it was, and it's here. So we'll get over to the table and let's take a look at it. So you all know what the model is because it's on the thumbnail and it's in the description. But when I purchased this on eBay, the only thing that was noted in the description really wasn't even of concern, was the fact that the actual box itself was missing. But as you can see, it still has the ice cube and all of the paperwork, so that didn't put me off. And to be quite honest, it could have been without any of that and it still wouldn't have put me off, because of the fact they're few and far between now. They're quite hard to get a hold of. So Longmoor Military Railway, number 878, BASRA. Let's take this out. So we've got all the paperwork. I'm not going to go through all of that. So if there was a detail pack, it has long gone. It has long gone. So let's have a look. Look at this. Now, I've got to say, prior to this appearing on the internet auction website, I had bought a couple of, let's say, railroad 08s, and I've been repainting them for Aidan into a couple of logos. I think it's Paxton and Sydney, and I'd actually got a third as spares, and I had actually already started trying to make a budget version of this as a bit of an experiment to see if I could do it before moving on to, say, a Bachmann or a Hornby main range 08. In fact, there is the Oxford Rail Blue. That model's been sidelined now because this came up about day 4 into making it, so I got it straight away. Anyway, anyone who's got a Bachmann 08 is going to be familiar with this detail, and I think it's wonderful. I mean, when I was a child, you just the closest you got to this outside motion and things like that was with the Lima 08. Obviously the Hornby one was just, it was nothing like it really, but these days the quality of manufacturing like this is just incredible. You can see all of them rivets there on the framework, not to mention all of the rivets and things like that, bolts, handles, the grills, everything on that shell is just incredible. Now this was the Model Zone exclusive, and I said earlier on, I remember seeing it when it was actually made available, but just didn't have the finances back then. And that print is incredibly sharp, even for back then. So it was early 2000s, something like that, I think, when this appeared. You can see, for something that's been around a little while in someone's collection, it is in incredibly good condition. It's been well looked after. It's Army, as opposed to WD for War Department. Now, Longmoor did actually have another one of these, and it was 876, and it was, I think it was pronounced Barry, but it was BARI. I might be wrong on the pronunciation, and that was involved in a rather awful accident with an 8F, a Stanier 8F, and it was scrapped. And I have seen a picture, and I can't put it up here because I don't want to get into bother for copyright. There is actually pictures on the internet, and there is actually one available on Auction Internet website at the moment, and it shows both 878 and 876 in a workshop at Longmoor. Now, Bachmann, if you ever feel the urge, seeing as you're not really going to have to do much in the way of changing anything, try and produce 876 as well, because that would be wonderful to have both of them. They were on the railway at the same time, because that's how that photo was there. But look at that. I mean, there was a bit of wear, I would say, to this coupling, but luckily NEM pockets, so they can be replaced. Like I said before in my last video, I'm not entirely sure whether or not I'm going to go to KD or not. It's up for debate at the moment. Now, if you follow Jenny Kirk, I don't often comment on her live stream on a Monday, but it's a great live stream. So if you're ever at loose end, get on there. It's a wonderful place. It's a happy place. Everyone likes to have a bit of a chat on the chat part, as well as to Jenny. Jenny has one of these, and I have mentioned it to her previously in the past, saying you have got one of my most wanted models set into that S100 that I got recently as well. So I am absolutely tip-top over the moon that I now have this. It's just it saved me so much time and energy. It has and it hasn't. If Bachmann don't decide to make 876, well, I'm either going to have to custom make one, or I'm going to have to be absolutely sacrilegious and try and get a hold of another one of these and change the number and get an etched nameplate made, which I might still have to do anyway. But absolutely incredible model. I love it. I don't think it's DCC ready. I'm not 100% sure, but I do intend to run DCC on the railway that I'm building at the moment for this Longmoor military items that I've got. So I don't think it's going to be a huge job. I have looked at the paperwork, and if it's not DCC, then it won't be a really hard job to fix it. But I have been informed that there's not a huge amount of space inside these things, so we'll have to see. But it'll be nice to have it with sound, definitely. But look at that. I mean, the detail is great. If you haven't seen one of these up close and personal, I hope these images are helping you out. But like I said, this now, as far as I'm aware, please correct me if I'm wrong, but as far as I'm aware, this locomotive now resides on the Lakeside and Haverthwaite Railway in Cumbria, in the Lake District, which is a great railway. It's lovely. home of the 2 last surviving Fairburn tank engines. I was there not that long ago. I think it was just over a year ago, Easter or May bank holiday weekend, I can't remember. There is actually a video on this channel, check it out. You can see one of the Fairburns running. But I'm pretty sure it resides there, and it's now in a BR black. And weirdly enough, the last time I saw it when it was actually in motion, it's all in BR black. But this panel here is actually still in this colour, which is quite amazing, really. I don't know whether it's because they might have painted it back into the colours a while back or something, and it just didn't get done, or whether it's just that panel has seemed to have survived all these years since the Longmoor closed, that it's still there. But it is definitely in those colours, that panel. The joys of a footbridge and being able to see these details. So yeah, I'm going to put it down onto the bench now, and we'll have a look at it just sort of rolling around the wheels. I think I'll just do it on a piece of track instead of the rolling road, because I've noticed recently that needs quite a hefty service. It's been used for a lot. And I almost forgot, lovely sprung buffers. Just adds to that realism. I really do like this model. I am so happy. And I've got just another point. This is actually the first, what I would call super detailed 08 I've got. I know it's not meant to be an 08, but obviously they just recycled the tooling for it. It's as near as damn it that I'm happy with that. But this is actually the first one of these I've got, and whether it be Hornby or Bachmann, this is the first one I've purchased like this. So it's a bit special anyway. So back down to the bench, and then I'll get the wheels turning. So you'll have to forget the mess in the background. That is all of the bits and pieces that are lying around currently for while I'm doing the Mallard O-gauge build, as and when I'm doing it. I'll do an update video soon. There's been quite a few issues with some of the work on it, but it is progressing. Anyway, you can see it there. It looks lovely. It looks absolutely wonderful. Just as happy with this as any of my other locomotives. I'm so glad to have it now. So there wasn't an awful lot in the description other than that it was in good condition. So it moves nice and smoothly at slow speed, which, remember, is what these pretty much did all their life. Now, I'll admit I haven't serviced this, and I'm not actually going to service it until I get to that stage that the railway requires a running locomotives on it. In other words, once that track's laid, there's going to be trains running around on it. But as you can see, it runs very smoothly. It's got a little bit of a hum. It's not a huge hum. Probably picks it up more on video. But I think a service will do most of that, and it could just be the type of motor that it has on it. But absolutely lovely. I am so happy. It's another one off the list. Even though I'm building this railway of mine to sort of fit around this sort of, how can I put it, the description of the Longmoor Military Railway, it's sort of going to have a very loose basis on that. I'm still buying other things that aren't Longmoor related, so don't worry, don't think this channel's just going to go all Longmoor on you. Plus there isn't many items out there that are Longmoor related, but there are many other items still coming, and the beauty is that I'm focusing on an area in which that I can use all of my trains, my models on. And similarly, Aidan can use them on his layout as well. So, but this is just something I've been wanting to do for a long time, and I really don't know what that connection is with me and the Longmoor Military Railway, but it really does sort of bring happiness to me and joy. So, having 878 now BASRA really is, for me, it's a brilliant bonus to the railway. if Bachmann or Hornby are looking at the idea of doing some other diesel locomotive related to the Longmoor that was used elsewhere. There's also the Sentinel, which was a 8-wheeled version of the 040 Sentinel that they currently Hornby currently produce. They did have an 040 as a, what would you call it, a demonstrator. So it was never painted in the Longmoor military colours, but they didn't find it to be quite as powerful as they needed and things like that. And they ended up getting a 080, which I do believe still exists. It might be in several pieces, I'm not too sure. I can't remember what railway it's at, but hopefully that will get restored at some point, and hopefully they will put it into the Longmoor colours again. I don't know if there's any more of that particular class of locomotive still kicking around, so it would be nice to get that one up and running if that's the case. But for today, here we have the Bachmann Model Zone exclusive Longmoor Military Railway BASRA 878, and I'm so happy. Lockdown for me has brought a lot of misery, but it's also brought a certain amount of happiness, because items have become available that I wouldn't have been able to get in the past. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you've got one of these, let me know. If you're looking for one, let me know, because you never know, if I see one and you haven't seen it, I might be able to contact you and let you know. But you know, I hope this has been helpful for you. If you just wanted a close-up look at one of these, or just that particular model, whether it be in that livery or not, and the up-close and personal images have helped you, please let me know as well. Don't forget, like, comment and subscribe. It's not compulsory, but you know, there you go. Share it if you want. But I hope you're doing well. I hope you're all looking after yourselves, and lockdown isn't over yet, so be careful, stay safe, and I'll see you again soon. Bye now.